Okay, good morning. So we only got a few meetings left and a few more exercises. So this one, what we're going to do today is the extra credit simulations. And so it is extra credit, but I'd recommend doing it because number one, it counts as 2 points. So it's like two exercises. And even if you've done all the assignments, which a few of you have, it can't hurt, right? You might as well do it. And so this is the one we're going to do today. And so yeah, and so the one we did Monday, example 10.2, and then the extra credit simulations that we're about to do are both going to be due next Monday, May 17th. And then those are pretty much the last two exercises. And then on Monday, we'll do a little review session and we'll talk about the take-home final exam, which will be due the next Monday. Okay, so this one today, and then these two will both be due on the 17th. Okay, so if you go on Blackboard to extra credit simulations, you'll see that there's some files, so you can open up the extra credit simulations document. And the first one we're going to use, the first Excel file we're going to use, is the ordering books Excel only one. So you can open up that and open up that. Okay, and so this is an assignment I made, extra credit simulations. So this is, like I said, going to be due next Monday if you, and this is going to count as two. All right, so this is uh, our last assignment, so I'm just going to count it as two because why not? So what we're going to do here is we're going to complete the following spreadsheets that I kind of modified. And so there's a ordering books, some hypothetical spreadsheet for Amazon, and there's ordering books 1, 2, and 3. And so we're going to kind of use the same methods we did on Monday. So we're going to do one, we're going to do a simulation for the exercise with just a manual simulation, and then we'll use a one-way data table, and then we'll use a two-way data table. So techniques we learned on Monday, but we can apply it to a different project. Okay, and I'll show you all the formulas and go through the steps, but I'm going to use the last document as a reference. So if you want to have that up, you might want to see the formulas that we're going to modify. Um, so example 10.2, the one we did Monday, you can open up, if you want to, the example 10.2 document, because that has some of the formulas that we're going to modify and use as a reference for this assignment. And so it might be useful, but we'll do everything together. But just in case you fall behind or something, you can use example 10.2 as a reference for all the formulas and steps. So we're basically going to do what we learned here and apply it to a different project. Okay, so first one is ordering books Excel only one. Okay, here we go. So here we go. It's a similar thing that we did on Monday, but it's just a different kind of project I made up. And so now we have a little project for some Amazon book. All right, and the unit cost is $5, so it costs $5 to order the book. They sell it for 20, and there's a refund of 250. And you look over here, I made up some demand distributions, and so basically demand for this book is going to be one of these five possibilities, 1,000 to 5,000, and these are the probabilities that those things occur. So basically, like 10% chance it's 1,000, 25% chance it's 2,000, and so on. So these are the possibilities, these are the probabilities, and this makes up the demand distribution that we're going to determine. And so we're trying to determine how many books to order. Okay, and so basically we'll start with the average and determine via simulation if there's a better option. Okay, So first thing we'll do basically step one is let's make any inputs, or let's highlight any inputs, decision variables, and objectives. And so here we go, ordering books, Excel only one. You can go ahead and highlight the cost data here. Those are inputs, light blue. Okay, the demand distribution is a bunch of inputs for now, so you can highlight this area light blue. We are going to decide the decision variable is the order quantity, so cell B9 is our decision variable range, which is light red. Okay, and we're going to start with the average. So I'm just going to take the average of the demands, and we'll start with that. So if you want to go to E10, let's take the average of the demands and just type in equals average. Okay, so equals in cell E10 equals average of E5 to E9. So the average is 3,000. So we'll start with that, and you can put that in B9. Just type in 3,000. Okay, so we'll start there, but we'll do some simulations to determine based on the demand distribution, the probabilities, is there a better option than just the average? That's the point of the simulations. Okay, and then finally the profit cell G19 is the objective cell. That's the highlight yellow color because we're going to maximize that. Okay. Now, so we need to set up the cumulative probabilities table. And so to do that, go right here first in D5 and just type in a 0. And then in D6, type in equals F5 plus D5. Okay, enter. And let's grab that formula, grab the bottom right corner of D6 and drag it down to there, to D9. And so just double check that you set this up, and this one, D5, should be 0. This one should be 0.1. This one should be 0.35. This one should be 0.65. And this one should be 0.90. Okay, and so remember the reason why we're doing this is because of the random numbers. We can generate a demand based on the probability. So anything between 0 and 0.1, it's going to be 1,000. Anything between 0.1 and 0.35, it's 2,000. And we did it that way because the probabilities incorporate the exact percentage of the random numbers. So 10% of the numbers go to this, 25% of the numbers go to this, and so on. So we've covered all the possible demands by setting up a lookup table, and we can just throw in the random numbers to get demand.
Wait, Professor?
Yes.
Wait, could I see the equation for that column again?
This one? Yeah, so it's just equals, so first of all, this one's just 0, just type it in D5, and then in D6, it's equals F5 plus D5. And then if you put in that one and just grab the bottom right corner and drag it down, then it should just incorporate the formula, where this one should be equals F6 plus D6, this one equals F7 plus D7, and this one equals F8 plus D8. And just double check that your numbers are these ones here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so we got that. That's step 2. Step 3 is, okay, so let's what we need to do real quick is let's make some range names. So this area, okay, make sure you select B5 to F9, this whole box, okay, including these numbers, D5 to F9, and let's look in the name box, let's call this lookup table. Just type it in. Okay, so we manually called this lookup table. Whoops, see, lookup table. And let's give a range name for the cost and the decision variables. So if you want to select A4 to B6, A4 to B6, and go to Formulas tab, create from selection, left column, okay. And then for order quantity, if you want to select A9 to B9, Formulas tab, create from selection, left column, okay. All right, so just to double check under Formulas tab, if you hit the name manager, we did lookup table, okay, which is this range, D5 to F9, and we got order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund. Okay, so we got those. Most importantly, lookup table has got to be named. All right, so now let's start setting up the first replication of the first simulation, and then we'll apply the formulas down. But we got to set up the first one right here. So in B19, type in just equals rand. All right, equals the random function, and then just open and close parentheses. So it's going to give you any random number between 0 and 1. All right, and let's make the decimals match these ones here. So just if you get that, equals rand with the open and close parentheses in B19. Just go ahead and click on Home tab, and you can hit the decrease decimal button until it gets down to 2. There we go. Okay. Now we need to generate demand based on the random number and the lookup table using the VLOOKUP function. All right, so we've done this a bunch of times, but in C19, your formula is equals, okay, equals VLOOKUP, and then in the VLOOKUP argument, B19, comma lookup table, comma 2. And double check that your lookup table is highlighting this area for the lookup table. And so the formula is going to take the random number, go to lookup table, match up where the random number gives us, and it gives us the argument in column 2, which is demand. So you can enter that. And so see, it'll be different based on your random number, but because I got 0.59, if you look at the lookup table, that's in between here, so that's going to give me 3,000. So anything above 0.35 and less than 0.65 is 3,000, which incorporates that number. Okay, so you should get some number in your demand, which is one of these. It's got to be one of these 5. Okay, revenue, step 4. Okay, so remember the revenue is just the market price, the selling price, times whichever is lower, order quantity and demand. Okay, so we can set that up with that same min function. So in cell D19 equals, okay, equals unit price times min, and then in the min function argument, C19, comma, order quantity. All right, so it's going to take 20, the market selling price of the book, multiply it by whatever is lower, demand or order quantity. Okay, so you can see that demand is lower. Demand was less than what we ordered, so we only get 2,000, or for mine, I only get 2,000 times 20, which is 40,000. Okay, and let's see, the next one. Step 5 is ordering cost. This is just what we order times the cost per book, which is 5. So in cell E19 equals unit cost times order quantity. All right, that's it. So it's going to be 3,000 times 5. So everybody should get 15,000 here for that one. Okay, the refund in step 6. If if we order too many, like I did here, 3,000. We have an extra 1,000. We can sell them back at 250 per book. So if you order too many, then the difference between what the demand is and what you ordered, if you order excess, if you order a surplus, you can sell those surplus books back at 250 per book. So the refund in F19 equals unit refund times max, and in the max formula argument, order quantity minus C19 comma 0. So whichever is, or if we order too many, you get a refund of 250 per book. Otherwise, you get 0. All right, so here I didn't order enough, so there's no refund. Okay, and remember, all these numbers are going to depend on your random numbers, so demand, revenue, and refund might be different based on this. The only thing that's 100% going to be the same, regardless of the random number, is the unit cost, because everyone here should have 15,000, but these ones might be different because it's all based on the random number. And then in profit, it's just revenue plus refund minus cost, which is equals in the yellow cell, G19 equals. Okay, equals D19 plus F19 minus E19. So this plus this minus this. It's revenue plus refund, and make sure it's minus cost. So D19 plus F19 minus E19. Okay, so let's do a little formatting, and then we'll set up the other simulations. So first of all, this is replication 1, so you can just type in a 1 there in A19. Okay, that looks good. I like the demand. I'd like it to have like the commas, like these. So if you want to, you can let's see, click on C19 and then do Home tab, Format, Format Cells, and just choose Number with no decimals and the comma separator. Okay. And then these ones we could do them all together because they're all currency. Okay, so if you want to select D19 to G19, revenue, cost, refund, and profit, I just want to format those to be currency. So Home tab, format, format cells, and the category is currency. Um, let's just have 0 decimals to make it easier. But you want the $ symbol there and hit OK. There we go. Okay, so we'll just double check here. Everybody good this far? So we got the replication one, and we got the random number generator. We got demand based on that random number, and the demand distribution. We got our revenue, we got our cost, we got our refund, and we got our profit for replication one. And if we got all this correctly, we're just going to apply it for um, 1,000 different replications. But double check that you got the formulas here and the formatting. Okay, so we got all this. So what we're going to do now is just manually set up 1,000 simulations based on the formulas we already got. So just type in A20, just type in a 2. Okay, and then you can choose A19 and A20 like that, the 1 and the 2, and just grab the bottom right corner and drag it down and count up to 1,000 like this. Okay, so you manually numbered 1 through 1,000 starting in A19 and counting all the way up to 1,000 in A1018. So you got 1 through 1,000 there. Okay, then all we have to do now is apply all these formulas and copy it down. So if you want to select B19 to G19, okay, all that, and then just double click the bottom right corner here, and you should get a profit calculated for each of the 1,000 simulations. Okay, did that work? And you should double check that your profits are giving you only the possible values of 45,000, 27,500, and the other option is 10,000. So there's only 3 options you should see in the profit outcome. You should see 45,000s, you should see 20,500, you should also see some 10,000s. All right, so if you have any negative numbers here, then something's wrong. All right, now what we can do is we need to get the summary measures. And so the easiest way to get the summary measures is to first give a range name to the profit area. So if you want to choose this whole area, G18, all the way to G1018. Okay, so select G18 to G1018, all the profit, all the yellow cells. And let's just do a range name With that selected, formulas, create from selection, top row, hit OK, and so that whole area is now profit range. And we can refer to the profit range when we do our summaries. Okay. So let's calculate the average, standard deviation, min and max of all the profits for the 1,000 possibilities. Okay. So in B12, just type in equals average. Okay, average formula, and in the argument, just type in your profit range that you just made. All right, so the average of profit and the profit reference should be this whole range name you just made. So it should incorporate those 1,000 replications with the profit outcome. Okay, equals average of profit. Okay, and let's get the standard deviation of profit. So in B13 equals, you want that specific formula equals STDEV. All right, that function. And then in the argument, just type in profit again. Okay, so standard deviation of all the profits. Now in B14, you want the min of the profit, so equals min function. Okay, equals min formula, and then in the argument is just profit, equals min of profit. And then we want the max. In B15 equals max. Okay, equals max function, and then in the parentheses in the argument, just type in profit. Okay, so equals max of profit. All right, and so let's double check here that. Okay, so the average profit and the standard deviation of profit are going to depend on your simulation, so those are going to be different. But double check, everyone should have a min profit of 10,000 and everyone should have a max profit of 45,000. So double check that these numbers are the same. Yeah, everyone got that? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to set up the distribution of profit table. All right, so remember that we're gonna try to get we're gonna see how many times profit was each of these three outcomes, and make a little graph of that, and then we're trying to find out obviously what the best order quantity is based on this. So should we order the average or should we order something different based on demand? Okay, so we don't have to order exactly what demand is, but um, we want to order the order quantity that gives us the highest expected average profit. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay, so let's go over to I-17 and let's give this title distribution of profit. Just type it in. All right, and if you want, you can make it bold for the title there. Okay, and then in I-18, you can just type in. Let's see, what did we type in here? I think in I-18, let's call this a value. All right. And then here, let's call this count. Or sorry, let's call it, that's not what we called it. So in J18, call it frequency. And then in K18, call it relative frequency. All right, so we're setting up a table here. So in I-17, distribution of profit is the title, and the subtitle in I-18 is value. The subtitle in J18 is frequency, and the subtitle in K18 is relative frequency. Okay, and we need to just list here the three possible values of profit, which are 10,000, 27,500, and 45,000. All right, so just type that in, 10,000 right there, 27,500 there, and 45,000 there. Okay, and now what we want to do is count how many times each of these possible outcomes occurred. Now, let's do that here in J19, which is going to be equals the countif function, and then in the countif argument, in the parentheses, equals countif profit, comma, I-19. So this was the first one there. Okay, so in J19 equals countif the range name profit, comma, I-19. So we're going to count how many times we got the outcome of 10,000. Okay, so I got it 87 times, and you're going to get something different because it's based on the random numbers. Okay, now we want to count how many times we got these two outcomes. So just, if you got this formula here, equals countif profit I-19, just grab the bottom right corner of J19 and drag it down like that and like that. And this one should count how many times you got 27,500. And this one should count how many times you got 45,000. And that what we need to check that we're doing it correctly is that these frequencies are going to be different, but we got to make sure it sums to 1,000 to confirm this is we're doing it correctly. So just everyone double check, hit in J22, type in this formula equals sum equals sum function of the range J19 to J21. So just these three here. So equals the sum of these three frequencies. And again, these will be different, but everyone should get 1,000 here. If not, then we messed up something. So double check that you got 1,000 here. Okay? Yeah, we got that? All right. Okay, so we need to get the relative frequency, which is just divide the frequency by how many simulations we had. So in K19, just type in equals J19 divided by 1,000. Okay, so again, in K19, the formula is equals J19 divided by 1,000. And let's apply that formula down. So just click on K19 and just drag it down there and there. So this one should be equals J20 divided by 1,000, and this one should be equals J21 divided by 1,000. Okay, and what we need to do now is confirm also that the relative frequency is sum to 1. So let's just drag over our average formula, click on J22, drag it over like that. Okay, and this formula in K22 should say equals sum K19 to K21, and this has to be 1. So if this is not 1, let me know because something's wrong. Okay, we got this. All right. The next step is to set up the.
Wait, mine isn't 1.
Oh, okay. So yours is not, but is the first? So is this one 1,000?
No.
Oh, okay. Uh, what is it? What does it say?
I have 656.
Hmm.
I think it's because my refunds, I have negative numbers sometimes, and I don't know how to get rid of that.
Oh, well, okay. Let me take a look at yours. Do you want to post yours on the discussion
Yeah.
forum? Okay. All right. So I'll take a look at that one in a second here. And okay, so the next thing is we're just setting up the da data table here. So in M17, let's just type in the title of our data table we're about to do. So in M17, just type in average profit versus order quantity. All right. So the title there in M17 is average profit versus order quantity. And I'll go ahead and make that bold. All right. So let me see if we, okay. So yeah, this looks like okay. So I think maybe this formula needs to be looked at. So Ryan, if you look at F19, let's see if we can fix that one. So it should be equals unit refund times max order quantity minus C19, and then you need to put right here, comma 0. So you need to put the otherwise argument. So that's all you got to put, I think, and that'll do it. So it should just fix it to equals unit refund times max, and then in the parentheses, order quantity minus C19, but make sure you have that comma 0.
Okay, yeah, that works. Thank you.
And then double click that one, F19 like this,
Yeah.
and that should do it. Yeah?
Yeah, I got 1,001 now.
All right. Nice.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we're back here. And now everyone's got 1001. All right. And what do we got? Okay. So all I did next was type in the title of our next thing in M17 right there, just average profit versus order quantity. Okay, that's the title in bold. And then what are we putting here? And then right here, the subtitle in M18 is uh, order quantity. Okay, and the subtitle here in N18 is average profit. Okay, and we need to link in the average profit first. And so in uh, N19, just type in this formula equals B12. Okay, so that's average profit versus order quantity, the title, the subtitle here, order quantity, the subtitle here, average profit, and make sure this formula, or this cell, N19 says equals B12. So see how it takes in the average profit. Okay, let's list our possible order quantities, starting with 1,000. Let's type that here in where are we? M20, 1,000. What should we, so maybe let's try increments of 500 and count up to 5,000. Yeah, so let's try so here's 1,000 in M20, and then here in M21, let's type in 1,500. Okay, and if you want to select them both like that, um, M20 to M21, and just grab the bottom right corner and count up to 5,000, sorry, like this. Okay, so in M20 to M28, you counted from 1,000 to 5,000 in increments of 500. So these are our possible order quantity options. Okay, now let's do our data table. Okay, all right. So we got this here. We got our this N N19 says equals B12, and here you've got 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, all the way to 5,000. And if you want to select this whole range, uh, M19 to N28, and then let's do data, what if analysis, data table. Row input cell is blank. Column input cell should be the order quantity, which is B9. Okay, so that's blank. That's B9. Hit OK. And if it didn't update, just do Formulas tab and hit this, see the Calculate Now button? Hit that. That should do it.
I'm sorry, Professor. Could you do that again?
Sure, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we got, oops. Okay, so we got that there, equals B12, and we got our order quantities here. So we need to select this area to first do it. So select M19 to N28, and then data, what if analysis, data table. All right, row input cell is blank, and column input cell is B9. Okay, hit OK, And then to make sure it updates, you can hit the Formulas tab up here, and you can hit this Calculate Now button. Okay, so did that work? Did we get a bunch of average profits here based on the different order quantities? Okay. All right, so let's do some formatting, then we'll make a little table. Okay, so this whole area, if you want to select M20 to M28, I just like to format this as numbers with the commas. So select those and then Home tab, Format, Format Cells, Number, 0 decimals with the comma. Okay, and this stuff needs to be currency. So if you want to select N20 to N28 and just do Home tab, Format, Format Cells, Currency, and 2 decimals is good with the $sign and hit OK. All right, so then you should have this. Should be a little clearer. You got your different order quantities here, and then based on the data table, you have the average profit based on these possible order quantities. Yeah. All right. Now we're almost done with this one, so let's make a little table, and then let's find out what our best order quantity is based on all the simulations. Okay. So go ahead and select M20 to N28, all this, M20 to N28, and then let's do insert, recommended charts. That's the one we want, clustered column. Hit OK. All right, and then all I want to do is hit the chart elements, take away the chart title, add axes titles, where this is going to be this axis, uh, average profit. Oop, I didn't spell that right, did I? Average profit. And this one is order quantity. Okay. And again, if you're using a Mac and you want to do the options, you just click on the chart design, add chart element, and you can take away the chart title there, and you can manually do the axes titles and just type them in. Okay, there's average profit, there's order quantity. So we've got that chart. And the only thing I want to do, the last step is just to find out, it looks like 4,000 is my best option, but let's just confirm that down here. If you want to select uh, N20 to N28, let's just find the highest outcome. Okay, so select N20 to N28 and then do Home tab, Conditional Formatting, Top Bottom Rules, Top 10 Items, and just where it says Top 10 Items, Format cells that rank in the top, just hit this down arrow until it goes to 1. So you want the top 1 and just hit OK. All right, so what I've determined is I would get the highest average profit if I ordered 4,000 books. So basically, I shouldn't order 3,000. I should order 4,000. And you might get a different option. You might get 3,500. You might get 4,500. But you want to find out what your highest average profit is, and choose the order quantity that gives you that. And it should be the same up here in the chart. Okay. All right. So we got that part. We got the data table, and we got the chart, and then you found out which order quantity gives you your highest average profit. Okay. All right. So if everybody's got this, we're done with this one. So you can save it. Okay. That one goes here in the extra credit simulations, and we got a couple more to do, but that was the longest one. Okay. So you can now open up. So we're done with this one. We finished ordering books Excel only 1. Now you can open up ordering books Excel only 2. So I'm going to close this one. We're done with this one. All right. So this one should look like this. Ordering books Excel only 2. So we're going to do the same analysis, but now we're going to try it with a one-way data table. All right. Kind of like we did last time on Monday, but now we'll do it with this exercise for the bookstore. Okay. So let's start with the range names. Okay. So this should be set up, but you want to name this range. Okay. So this is ordering books Excel only 2. Select D5 to F9, and let's call it lookup table. Okay, up in the name box, enter. So this is lookup table. Okay, and now we just need a range name for these ones. Okay, so select A4 to B6, formulas, create from selection, left column is checked, hit OK. And for this one, choose A9 to B9, formulas, create from selection, left column, OK. And just double check, hit your formulas tab, name manager, and you got these ones, lookup table, order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund. Okay, so now let's set up our base simulation formulas, and then we'll do a data table to incorporate the simulations. Okay, so you got the range names. Now all I'm going to do is go right here to the first demand in B19 equals. Okay, and D19 equals B lookup, and then in the formula in the parentheses equals V lookup rand with the open and close parentheses, comma lookup table, comma 2. All right, so you know exactly what's happening here. It's going to go to the lookup table, get a random number, and then give you the second argument in the lookup table based on the random number. Okay, so you're going to get something, one of these four options. You're going to get either 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000. And again, it's specifically based on your random number. Okay, revenue in C19 equals. Okay, equals unit price times min, and then in the parentheses B19, comma order quantity. So it's the unit price 20 times whichever one is smaller, order quantity or demand. All right, so equals unit price times min in the parentheses B19, comma order quantity, and then close the argument there. All right, cost is just the unit cost times the order quantity. So in D19 equals. Okay, equals unit cost times order quantity. So everyone should get the same number of 15,000 there. All right, let's specify the refund if we get one, which is in E19 equals. Okay, equals unit refund times max, and then in the parentheses, in the max argument, um, order quantity minus B19, comma 0. So make sure you get that 0 there. Okay, so if we order too many, we get a refund of $250 per book. And the profit in the yellow cell just equals. Okay, equals C19 plus E19 minus D19. So it's just revenue plus refund minus cost. C19 plus E19, then minus D19. Okay, so we got these ones. We got the general formulas there, yeah. And we need to now set up the replications. So starting in A24, type in a 1. In A25, type in a 2. All right, and we know the next step, select A24 and A25, the 1 and the 2, and just start counting up, drag the bottom right corner down until you count up to 1,000. Okay, so in the range A24 to A1023, you numbered 1 through 1,000 for each of your upcoming simulations. Okay, we need to link in the profit here. So in this cell, B23, type in this equals equals F19. All right, so make sure in B23 it says equals F19, so this goes there. All right, and then we're going to do our data table manually. So choose A23 all the way to B1023. So see how I have this whole range selected? So you got to have selected A23 all the way to B1023. Okay, so with that selected, data tab, what if analysis, data table, row input cell is blank, and column input cell, you can type in C23. All right, and that's just a blank cell because we want just random numbers, but you can do that. Row input cell blank, column input cell C23, and let's hit OK. All right, and again, if it didn't, if it's all giving you 45 thousands, just try doing Formulas tab and hit that Calculate Now button. There we go.
Sorry, Professor, what are we entering to the data table, like for the what if analysis?
Oh, so when you have your range selected, it's I'll show you. Okay, so you got all that selected. A23 to B1023, and then data, what if analysis, data table. And so I think you're asking here, so for the data table, you want to type in the row input cell is blank, and the column input cell is, what did I say, C23. All right, and that should do it if you hit OK. And again, to update the formulas, all you got to do is hit the Formulas tab and hit that Calculate Now button. But what you should have now is 1,000 replications with different profits based on the random numbers. So, yeah. Okay, so that worked. We got that. All our different profits based on the 1,000 replications in the data table. And so now, last thing for this one is just to get the average standard deviation, min and max right there. So let's make a range name for profit. And if you want to select A24, or sorry, B24, B24 to B1023, and then manually up in the name box, let's call that range profit. Okay, enter. All right, so again, I've selected with the mouse or with the selection B24. Okay, all the way to B1023, and I manually called that profit up in the name box. Okay, and then we can refer to that range up here. So let's get the summary stats for the profit range. So in B12 equals average of profit. Okay, equals average, and then the argument is just the range name profit. Um, Standard deviation in B13 equals STDEV, and then the argument is just the range name profit. Okay, the min equals min function, and the argument again is just the range name profit. Okay, and maximum in B15 equals max function, and it's just the maximum of the range name profit. All right, so again, the average is going to be different because it's based on the random numbers. The same with the standard deviation, but everyone should have a min of 10,000 and everyone should have a max of 45,000. These two numbers should be the same. And then over here, it'll calculate some confidence intervals for you. And so you'll be at 95% confidence intervals based on your ordering at 3,000, that your profit will be something between these two numbers. Okay, so everybody got the data table for the 1,000 replications, and everybody got the summary measures here. Yeah. Okay, we're done with this one. So ordering books, Excel only 2. That's done. That one goes there. Okay, last one for extra credit simulations is we've done this one. We've done 1, we've done 2. Now finally open up ordering books, Excel only 3. And this will be the last one in which we're going to do the analysis with the two-way data table. All right, so this is the completed Excel only 2. So we're done with this one, right? Everyone's got this, so I'm going to close it. And last one we'll do here is when you open up ordering books Excel only 3, it should look like this, where you got the stuff up here, and you should see that you got your data table set up that we're about to do. All right, so ordering books Excel only 3, last exercise of the morning. Okay, what are we doing first? All right, so first thing is what? Is we got to do the range names. Okay, so go ahead and select D5 to F9, and let's call this range up in the name box lookup table. All right, and we need a range name for these ones. So select A4 to B6, Formulas tab, create from selection, left column is checked, hit OK. We need a range name for order quantity. Select A9 to B9, Formulas tab, create from selection, left column, OK, and just double check. Formulas tab, name manager, you got your 5 range names for the lookup table, which should say D5 to F9, and order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund. Okay, so we're going to set up the the baseline demand, and then we'll use that to get all the replications in the two-way data table. So a third way to look at this analysis to determine what the best order quantity is for Amazon based on the demand distribution here. All right, so let's put on our formulas, and we're probably used to these same formulas, but here they go. And B19 equals all right, there's our formula again. In B19 equals VLOOKUP, and then in the parentheses RAND with the open and close parentheses, comma lookup table, comma 2. All right, so it's going to generate a random number. Uh, Based on that random number, it's going to give you the demand, which is the 2, argument 2. So it's going to give you one of these 5 possible demands. Revenue, C19 equals. Okay, equals unit price times min function, and then in parentheses B19, comma order quantity. So it's 20 times whichever is lower, order quantity or demand. Okay, cost, D19 equals. Okay, we know that one. That's just equals order equals unit cost times order quantity. Everyone should get 15,000 there. Refund, E19 equals. Okay, there we go, equals unit refund times max function, and then in the parentheses, order quantity minus B19 comma 0. So if we order too many, we get a refund of 250 per excess book. And then profit, yellow cell, F19 equals. Equals C19 plus E19 minus D19. So we know that's just revenue plus refund minus cost is our profit. Okay, so now we're going to set up our data table here. So first of all, in A23, type in equals F19. Okay, so in A23, the formula is equals F19. All right, now you got to select this whole range, and let's do our data table. So start with A23 and start selecting. And you got to select this whole range. All right, so see what I've selected? I've selected A23 all the way to J 1023. So all that stuff. All right, so this whole range has got to be selected. Okay, A23 to J1023. Okay, then here we go. With that selected, Data tab, What If Analysis, Data Table, Row Input Cell is B9. Okay, and that refers to the ordered quantity, which we're changing, and then the column input cell, we just want any blank cell, so I'm going to type in B10. Okay, row input cell is B9, column input cell is B10. All right, hit OK. That should do it. If it doesn't update, just to try Formulas tab, hit the Calculate Now button. But what we should have here is 1,000 different simulations, and then you should get one for each of the possible order quantities. So when you order 100, what are the 1,000 possible outcomes? And so you should have one for each of these possible columns here. Okay, we got that? Did that work? Um, okay, now what we need to do is calculate the average profit and the standard deviation of profit for each of the possible order quantities. All right, so we can do the first two and then just kind of drag it over. So you got to set up the first one here. So what's the average profit for ordering 1,000? So it looks like it's all the same, but let's set up the formula. So in B14, this is the formula is equals average. Okay, equals average of B24 to B1023. Okay, and B14 equals average B24 to B1023. Enter. And then we need the standard deviation of that same range for 1,000. So in B15 equals STDEV of B24 to B1023. Okay, so in B15 equals STDEV, the standard deviation of the range B24 to B1023. Okay, so that one's equals average B24 to B1023, and that's equals STDEV B1024 to B1023. Okay, and then we can use the shortcut to get the average profit and the standard deviation of these other options. So just click on, if you got these two formulas, just choose them. Go ahead and select B14 to B15 and just grab the bottom right corner and drag it over like that. And that should give you the measures for each of the other possible order quantities, 1,500, 2,000. Yeah. Okay. Did that work? Yeah. Okay, a few more things. Let's make a table or a chart of average profit versus order quantity. So just if you did the calculations here, okay, so we basically got the average profit and the standard deviation for each of these possible options. Now let's see what that average profit is. go ahead and select this range, uh, B13 to J14. All right, B13 to J14, and then insert recommended charts. We want that first one, clustered column. Hit OK. Put that over here. All right, and we can just format our clustered column a little bit. If you want to click on the plus sign, uh, uncheck the chart title, and then check axes titles. Okay, and we know that this is average profit. And we know that these are the possible order quantities that we can choose from. Okay, so average profit versus order quantity, and remember options doing it MacWise. Click on the chart, chart design, add chart element, and you got your option for axes titles, and you got your option to uncheck the chart title there and just type in the names. Okay, so very last thing, let's determine or let's check which order quantity gives us the highest average expected profit. So to do that, just to confirm what you're seeing in the chart, okay, go ahead and choose B14 to J14. All right, all the average profits here. And I want to see which one is the highest, so just do conditional formatting, home tab, conditional formatting, top bottom rules, top 10 items, and we want top 10 items for format cells that rank in the top one. We just want the highest one. Okay. Okay, so you might get a slightly different outcome, but I got that uh, if I ordered 4,000 books, that'll give me the highest expected profit. All right, and you can confirm that over here in the chart, where that's the highest one. All right, so I'm comparing between ordering this, this, and it looks like based on the simulations, given expected profit, we don't know for sure, but expected profit would be the best if Amazon orders 4,000 copies of this book. Okay, so the whole um, purpose here was to determine, should we order 3,000 or should we order something else? We should order something else. We should order 4,000. Okay, so we got that. We got the chart of average profit versus order quantity that looks like that, and then you found out what your highest average profit is, and based on that highest average profit, you should order the quantity that's associated with that. So I'd order the 4,000 here. So I'm just gonna make it bold. There we go. Oh, see, now I did the simulations again. I hit enter, and now the outcome changed. So I'm gonna. Okay, so see if you do it, if you redo the calculation, your outcome might be 4,500 or so on. But now it's 4,000. All right. So everyone's we got this one. Got this one done. All right, so we finished it. So ordering books, Excel only 1, 2, and 3 are all done. Those 3 Excel files all go here to complete the extra credit simulations assignment. All right, so if you got those or whenever you get those, post those. That's 2 points, just posting those 3 completed files. Okay, so we're just about done. And just as a reminder, due next Monday if you haven't done them already. Example 10.2 is due Monday, and the extra credit simulations is also due Monday. And then in the coming meeting on Monday, uh, make sure you come because we're going to do a review session, do some practice problems, and talk about the take-home final. Okay. All right. So if you got these ones done, that's it for today. We're done for the exercises. And thank you for joining. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday morning.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, I click calculate now, but I'm still getting like this. I'm still getting 45,000 for every value, in my chart for this last one. Um, can you just
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
read?
Yeah. Go ahead and post it, and I'll take a look.
Okay. Okay, right when I uh uploaded it, it put in the numbers. So I should be good now.
Oh, it works.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Okay. You too. Thanks.